What's going on, people? Welcome to United View and welcome to not the transfer show at the moment. It is the moment when the fixtures get announced. We are a minute away from them coming out. We've been sitting on them. So we've got to wait and respect the embargo. But we've been sitting on it for the last couple of hours. It's now 9 o'clock. Yes. It's now 9 o'clock. So yes. They're up. They're going to be up. Welcome to everyone. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new. And to be honest, we got a lot to talk about because I feel like Meltdown City's going to happen, but also we've got to have some concern when the fixtures start coming out. It gets a bit nuts. We obviously know now that Man United will face Brighton on the first day of the season at home. Owen, what are we saying with the first batch? What are we saying? Because we've been sitting on this for a couple of hours.
Yep. In fairness, I think some people that would just be seeing these now will be scanning through, looking for the key dates, looking for the opening game, the last game, Boxing Day, first 5 games, derbies, etc. So drink them in, digest. It's like you're drinking a nice sip of red wine. Not this early, to be fair.
No, don't encourage that.
I wouldn't recommend that. It's like doing the taste test. My feeling is, you know what? I said to you this morning, I'm okay with them.
Wait, let's read them out first. So if people are just joining, they wanna, we could just be the first to tell them so they ain't got to scour the internet.
Go ahead.
Right. So first sort of 5 or 6 games. Let's say first 5 games. Man United versus Brighton. At home. Brentford versus Manchester United. Manchester United versus Liverpool is the 3rd game. Obviously at Old Trafford. Southampton at St Mary's after that. Then we travel away to Leicester, consecutive away games there. And then it's Arsenal, the 6th game, at home. So first 5 games. Let's just do the first 6, because it brings in Arsenal as well. We've got Man United versus Brighton, Brentford versus Man United, Manchester United versus Liverpool, Southampton versus Man United, Leicester versus Man United, and Man United Arsenal. What's your thoughts, people? How many points out of the first 6?
That would be an interesting, wasn't it? How many points? Because I think that's what a lot of people are going to be talking about this morning, isn't it? How many points? Out of those opening 5 or 6 games, how many points? Now, if someone says, full point, all of them were winning, that is ridiculous. That is not happening. As I mentioned, my first reaction when I saw it was, I'll take that. I will take that. I think, considering the situation when it comes to Brighton of the last time we played them, the Amex, I don't even want to mention you with the goalposts.
I definitely ain't going there this time.
Don't go to Old Trafford or touch those goalpost flex. I will take that. I think we beat them at home last season, later on in the season. And I do think a lot of people are concerned because obviously the way that we finished last season, right? The way we finished last season was, frankly, it was almost relegation form. Yeah. Was it 1 victory, 2 victories out of our last 10 games or something ridiculous?
Shocking.
It was shocking. But I don't know if you can take a lot from that into this season. We do have a new manager. At the moment, we've got the same group of players, which is, again,
that's the most concerning
justifies
thing.
The kind of reaction to, oh my goodness, what is going to happen?
Yeah.
But you have to, and it's frustrating, but you do have to leave that in the past. You do. You do have to leave those performances in the past. So I look at Brighton at home, and I think that's a great opportunity to start off really well, get an opening victory on the first game of the season. Brighton are a good side, though. The next one, Brentford away, I do look at that being a difficult game. We did win there last season, but it is a difficult game. I remember when Thomas Frank came out after that game last season. He was
so salty.
It was ridiculous. I can't believe it. It was ridiculous. But we did get a victory there last season. Yeah. The Liverpool game, I'm almost content with having that so early on in the season. Yeah, get it out of the way. Because it's a bit of a write-off, I feel like.
And also, it's the chance when, before, the really good teams, you could argue when they're not in full swing, when they haven't got going yet. I know, obviously, we spoke about this in the last couple of hours, that, when City lost against Spurs early doors in the season last year. It happens. But one thing, look, obviously, people are saying, 0 points. We'll do well to get 3 points out of that. Let me go through some of the comments here. When I said how many points, KG's in the chat. Big up to KG as well. He's KG. Probably doing somersaults around his living room now, saying we're going to get 0 points. There you go. Keegan says 0 points from the first 6 games. Swifty95 says I'm happy with that. Anthony Barnett says 4 points max. Gabe Moore says 2 points. And Joel Hayden says, that's hard, Jesus. Curtis C says 10 would be good. Jordan says 12. Zeus says 12. Ivan says 18. Bug Lovers Tech says 18. Fat Boy says 4 max. And Benel says, let's all relax, guys. So it's very mixed in the chat. And a super chat here from Ginger Fury says, what's going on with the Barca news? We'll talk a little bit about that later on in the show, because there's reports that, you know, they might be out of financial trouble if they can play their cards right. But we'll talk a little bit about that later. But yeah, back to the fixtures. Obviously, yeah, out of the first 6 games, we got 2 big ones. Yeah. Obviously, we're not really in a position to be calling games big and small because we're shit, but traditional, especially the Liverpool game at home. One thing I would say is, obviously, they're both at home against Arsenal and Liverpool, especially the Liverpool game. And if you're looking on the positive side, the glass half full, at least one, they might not be in full swing, and 2, it gives Erik ten Hag a good feeling early on. It gives Old Trafford a chance to be loud, get behind the team, bring some atmosphere. And if you do win, obviously you got to take it, or you get a positive result. It could be an amazing morale boost early on. Yeah. Obviously, you can't get too carried away if we did win or get a decent result. At the same way, even if we lose, you couldn't, because it'd be the 3rd game of the season.
There's lots of different ways to look at it.
There's so many different ways.
You can see the different reactions to how that game might
100%.
turn out, specifically that Liverpool one. So let's say, hypothetically, and this is a big if, let's say we win our first 2 games, right? Yeah. And maybe they're not completely convincing, but at that point we're going.
But you got 6 points.
We got 6 points on the board, and we play Liverpool.
So beat Brighton, beat Brentford.
Yeah, and when we play Liverpool, and we just get destroyed, like it was not like it. Well, could be like it was last year, right? It's like 4-0, or it's a 3-0, but we get completely wiped out. There will be a lot of the sky is falling, nothing's changed, we're rubbish,
especially
whatever.
If we haven't got the right players by then.
Yeah, because that's before the transfer windows close as well, because it's the 20th of August. Mm-hmm. So there could be a situation there where we play Liverpool and we haven't got all of our business done. That is a real possibility there. So you could see the reaction of being, that's terrible, that's rubbish. But if somehow we were able to not even just win, if we got like a point out of that game, we'd be like,
yeah, because we can't expect miracles. We are a million miles off Liverpool.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at that. I'm writing that game off 100%. Already. Yeah, I'm writing that one off.
But what we do have to say is, which is why we were so disgusted last year, is you can be a million miles off Liverpool, like how Liverpool were a million miles off us back in the mid 2000s, and for most of the Premier League, near enough all of the Premier League era, apart from the recent times. But you still got to show a bit. They still need to come to Old Trafford knowing they're going to get a tough game. Even it doesn't matter about form. They're going to rock up at Old Trafford. The fans are going to be up for it. Our players are going to run around like headless chickens with bags of energy and passion and desire and organisation. Let's add that in now. We got Ten Hag, and give them a tough game. But obviously, we've not been able to do that for a long time. So I don't think it's about. How many times have we said it's not about chasing down Liverpool and City this season? We need to forget them within reason, but we need to be putting in respectable performances against them and something to get behind. And if we can have the positive side of it, which is what I'm saying at the moment, which is, well, you know what, we got draw against them. That was a good game, or we lost narrowly. That was a flash of brilliance from Darwin Núñez. Not really much we could do about that. We played okay though. We had chances, should have scored, something like that. But if you just get wiped out, it's the same old feeling. It all depends on what players we have in the door by then, how pre-season goes, because we'll know how. And like you said, more importantly, the first 2 games. If he starts the same team twice and that team gets 6 points and we're looking okay, you go into it with a little bit of confidence. Yeah. If it's bitty and not great, which could happen because he's still very early in Ten Hag's reign, only his 3rd game that'll be a competitive game, then you can allow for it. You can't. It's very difficult to predict what the narrative and the feeling will be for that. You just know that it's a big game.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest as well, think about that. His 3rd game, or his 2nd game at home, rather. His first game at home is Brighton. His 2nd game at home at Old Trafford is Liverpool. What a challenge that is.
That's what I mean.
Exactly.
What
a baptism of fire that is. Your first game, that's like, Old Trafford, first game. Let's hope we settle okay. Let's hope he settles okay. But you've got to settle quick, because bear in mind, your next game, it's Liverpool. It's arguably the biggest game of the season for the Old Trafford crowd at home. Boom. That's unbelievable. That is a baptism by fire. But as you were saying before, I'm almost content to get them out of the way early, to be honest with you. Yeah. I do look at, say...
I'd prefer if it was away.
If you look at, like, Arsenal last season, right? Yeah. They had tough games at the beginning of the season, but it does open things up a little bit later on. Yeah. So, and to be honest, guys. I mean, initially, we were talking about this before as well, Flex, that until maybe like the end of the year, that probably is going to be the list of games. And some might get moved a little bit in terms of days, from maybe Saturday to Sunday or from Saturday to Monday or what have you for TV. But once you start looking into the second half of the season, sort of in the new year, that's when you do look at that fixture list and say that could change a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, that is a possibility to change a little bit in terms of, you know, competitions and things get moved around. But and it's always difficult to judge. It's always tough to judge. You look at that because,
especially now, we've got a player,
and results do change things. They do change perception of things because again, we do look on social media and you do see some people saying, "Oh, I'm not sure about this. I'm unsure. No points or whatever." But if we have a good, say, pre-season, I think that perception changes.
I think it's really easy because again, we're only, when did the season finish? 22nd of May. So we're not even a full month since the season. Not even a full 4 weeks since the season finished. And we're down in the dumps. We still have that feeling. Hence why every day that passes when we don't sign a player, and I understand it, people are getting pissed off, people are getting annoyed, people are saying nothing's changed, especially when we need to do the most. But receiving fixtures now on top of that, on top of your emotions, if you're quite emotional right now and you're annoyed and you're angry and you're not very optimistic and you're struggling to see some positivity, which I understand, if you've been dealing with that for the last 2 to 3 weeks, then you're now hit with the fixtures.
Yeah,
you can't look forward and say, that was last season, we'll be okay. You are stuck with, listen, mate, only 3 weeks ago we couldn't beat Palace on the last day of the season. The game before that we got absolutely wiped out by Brighton. Like, you find it very difficult to get out of that mode and look that far forward.
It's the context of the moment. It's the context of the moment as well. So like you said, that if you are one of those people that are frustrated with the lack of business at the moment, or the pace, shall we say, of the business at the moment, then once you see these fixtures, once you see you're playing Liverpool in the third game, of course you're going to be unbelievably pessimistic about that. Because with the transfer or lack of transfer business going on at the moment, you're pessimistic about the season anyway. Yeah. So when you see these games, you're like, we need players because we've got a tough start in some people's eyes. But again, I'm morbidly curious about that third game, to be honest. You know, and maybe that will change when it gets closer. And look, again, like the first 2 results will dictate how we feel about that Liverpool game anyway. Yeah. Because if we do have shaky performances and results against Brighton and Brentford, we're going to go into that Liverpool game being like, no chance.
100%.
I mean, I feel like that anyway.
And even if we win them 2 games, we'll go, well, come crashing down now.
Yeah, exactly. But you'd be like, but if we saw 2 performances where you go, I tell you what, I don't know what he's done, but he might have revolutionised how we've played. Or we played really well in those first 2 games. Then maybe you would be like, actually, Old Trafford, the crowd, the players, the manager, it's a test, but I might feel quite confident about it.
Well, it'll be interesting. Soto Lee says, it's quite funny actually. I'll challenge Soto Lee to see if he's actually still here or she's still here. Says, logged out as soon as this bloke starts talking about Old Trafford being loud and getting behind the likes of Maguire, McTominay, Rashford and Bruno. I wonder if Soto Lee is still here after saying they've logged out. I want to know. Raul Patel, thanks for the super chat, says October will show us our credentials this year. We'll talk a little bit about that in a sec. And Shalil Patel says a ball hasn't been kicked yet under Ten Hag. Already looking peak at the first 6 games. Won't help, by the way. We are not even close to signing 1 player. Looking nuts. So, again, no positivity there from Shalil.
But going back to that one again, just to comment on that. Yeah. Isn't in the first sentence there, a ball hasn't been kicked?
Yeah.
That's also. I mean, you said it in the super chat. There is that a ball hasn't been kicked, and again, maybe you can't even judge that much from pre-season. But if you see something that's bad or good in pre-season, then you can really start saying, "Oh, man, this is going to take a while." But for me, that's the thing I'm almost excited about this season is that, irrespective of the business or lack of business so far, I do look at it as I'm fascinated to see how we line up. Or I'm fascinated to see how we do play because we can look at Ajax, we can look at Ten Hag games, but I'm still curious. Are you not? To see like that first pre-season game? Are you interested to see
of course,
are we actually going to be passing the ball around?
Mate, I can't wait to see how we play. And I think even though it's pre-season, and again, you can't in pre-season you can't go too far left, you can't go too far right. Yeah, you kind of actually, in the words of me, you kind of actually do need to be on the fence in pre-season, only because you just don't know how it's going to pan out.
Louis van Gaal preseason. That's the perfect example.
That's what I'm
isn't
saying.
it? Every single game, beating Real Madrid.
Bro.
You know,
like it doesn't mean it's not guaranteed to transfer into the season. But again, you need to have the open-mindedness to get a general consensus. Okay, well, you know what? We've actually played a straight 4-3-3 in all of them games.
Yeah.
So you can take that as a matter of fact and say, in 4 games, well, we had 5 preseason games altogether, including the ones over this side of the hemisphere, and in 5 of those, in all of those games, he played 4-3-3.
Yeah.
Or he played a 4-3-3 with 1 sit-in and 2 8s. You can get a gist for that.
Yeah.
Or he played a back 5. So you know how we're going to probably start the first game of the season. You look at who starts most of the games. I just want to say just really quickly, smash a like on the video, subscribe if you're new. And if you didn't know, the United View Members Club is now up and running.
UVMCs.
You guys have asked for it.
Look, Star-Lord's using the emojis in there.
There you go. That's what reminded me. Star-Lord's got his emoji straight away. He says, big up, lads. So he's obviously a member. You can get your emojis. You can get your badges. You're going to get weekly content that's exclusive to you guys. You're going to get members priority chat as well.
Yeah.
And a chance to tell us what you guys actually want to see going forward. As we keep growing at United View, you guys know my thoughts on this, and I've said this since the start. I never want to try and run before we can walk. Everything's going to come in the order that it should come in and going to come naturally and organically. We're not trying to chase things too quickly. So there's 1 tier a month. And like I said, those are your perks. Check it out. And it's going to evolve. Loads of people have spoke about United View merch as well.
Yeah.
All in the pipeline. You know what I mean? We really want to grow
there's
organically.
there's some exciting things with it as well, because as Flex just mentioned there, it's definitely going to be with the exclusive video per week. It's going to be what you want to see. There have been a lot of people talking about Flex doing movie reviews.
Still not sure about
I
that.
tell you what, and this gives a little peek behind the curtain as to what you can maybe expect. Yesterday, once we finished doing the stream, we watched Obi-Wan, right? And I'm not going to go into spoilers of the episode, but to sum it up, maybe a minute into it, Flex was asking about 500 questions. Josh got up, walked to the TV, and just turned it up a lot. And then a minute later, so Flex went quiet after that, and he went, I'm going to go get some breakfast. And then he walked off, and then he came back maybe 50 minutes later, and he went, I feel like I've just come into like a nerds club or something.
No, I didn't say nerd. I didn't say nerd. I said
that's what
kids
you said.
comic book
Or
club.
whatever it was. He's unwrapping his sort of bacon and egg sandwich, and he was like, nah.
Oh, man.
He was asking questions. So is he his dad? And they're friends? They used to be friends. They're not friends, are they? He's his brother.
Yeah.
Just Josh.
Yeah, because
Josh-
Owen and Josh are like...
Josh just got up and went,
Hey, you know what's funny as well, yeah? You know when someone's just talking to you and you don't want them to talk to you, so because you're trying to watch, you're in depth in the program. Josh was like watching, like, oh my god, like he's fully involved.
Yeah.
And I was asking him something about, oh, is that related to? He went, Flex, I don't know. He just put his hand, I don't know, Flex.
I'm surprised he didn't try and do this. And you
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to get back to it. But yeah, back to the members club. I mean, people have been talking about, me personally, I was like, it's a football channel. Can I really be sitting there doing like watch-alongs to Star Wars? But the members, that's the perks of it. You get to decide what you want to do. So whatever you guys decide, that's what I'll do. It's your show. But yeah, the members club's up and running. And there's, like I said yesterday, there is a few more tickets left for Sunday, our 100k subscriber party. Links in the video description below. Toca Social, 19th of June, London's O2, interactive football space. I'll be on the decks, couple friends on the decks. Interactive football games,
Yeah.
food, drink, vibes.
Yeah, my training's gone off the rails for that one.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I've not been joining Marcel's shuttle runs. Yeah.
Big up to Keegan, latest member of the UV Members Club.
There you go,
There you go,
UVMC.
just popped up, UVMC. Love that, man. HQ looking fire, says Rahul Patel. Flex nerd discrimination, shake my head, says Troll Potato. Listen, 100%, I don't like doing that whole bullying. Oh, you're a nerd, you're a dweeb, you're this, like you're a geek just because you... No, I don't judge people I just don't know nothing about it.
Yeah.
And I know that the community is strong.
Yeah.
And they come for you. That's what I do know. They're tribal.
That's why he left the room.
100%. I was like, there's only two of them in here.
You could feel
but
the anger.
I could feel it. I'm like...
he went, I'm going to get breakfast.
Yeah, I'm like,
force
these
was
guys,
strong.
you can't get involved in this. Don't talk to them. Don't look at them. Don't
Yeah.
ask them questions. Just get out. But yeah, big up, man. But if you're just joining us, the fixtures have been announced. We've got we've got all the fixtures. I just want to go back to when somebody said October.
Yeah.
Will show us where we're at, what our credentials are. Where's October?
It's here. So the first game of October is the Manchester Derby away at the Etihad. That's followed by an away trip to Goodison Park against Everton. Yeah. We then have Newcastle United at home, a different proposition this season, of course. Yeah. We then have Spurs at home. That's followed by Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge. And we round out the month by facing West Ham at home.
Whoever said that, they are bang on about October being a big challenge.
Absolutely bang on. Tough games. And I tell you what, it was around October that was Ollie's pretty much his final month in charge, where everything just completely went to crap last season. Yeah. And that is very true. There are games in there that are not easy, tough trips. Even the games at home are big games as well. How many points do you think we get out of October, Fleck? But that goes to prove, a bit like last year with us as well, is we had a good run of fixtures early on last year, didn't we? And we didn't make them count. So by the time it got to October, we knew we were going to be dropping points anyway. We did, and it cost the manager his job ultimately. So that goes to show why, as I mentioned, those games earlier on, whilst people might be quite pessimistic about them now, we have to win them.
Yeah.
We have to. It's scrap out Liverpool, but we have to have a good start. If we're going to achieve anything this season, and I don't mean going for the league or anything like that, I'm not even sure if I mean top 4, Flex.
Yeah.
But if I'm meaning like, if we're going to be in some conversations...
of something.
We need to start relatively quickly.
And the thing is that Man United, obviously this past few seasons, we always start so shit.
Yeah.
Like, I remember last season...
Even under Sir Alex, we were slow starters.
Exactly. I remember last season, obviously first game Leeds, excited, buzzing, smashed them. Then I remember a batch of, I think it was St Mary's next. Flat draw.
Really poor.
Then it was Wolves. Yeah. Scraped it. Don't know how we won that.
Really poor.
We should have lost. I remember De Gea making that double save on the line.
Yeah. West Ham, that's last minute penalty, De Gea save. Again,
West Ham,
we were not very good in that game.
We were shocking.
Yeah.
Then obviously the Ronaldo boost against Newcastle at home.
But again, you have to look at that in context, because that was Newcastle, poor Newcastle, absolutely awful. Steve Bruce, hate the owners, all that kind of stuff.
So we had a poor start. Another latest member of the United View Members Club. Big up Christian Monger, latest member.
There you go.
Always see Christian as well. It's
UBMC.
wicked when you see people who've been in the comments for ages, like watching all the time, and their members straight.
Yeah, and it's great now you see with their badges as well, which they do change as well over time. So those UV logos over time change into different colours. I won't spoil what they are. Yes, but they do look very cool.
100%. And Kristen says, I'm buzzing for Sunday as well. Yeah, can't wait to meet you there, Kristen, as well. Appreciate that. No, we need Flex anime review, says Daniela. I've never watched anime in my life. I honestly, it's just Pokemon to me. Like the animation, it just looks like Pokemon. I watched,
KG told me, because again, I'm not the biggest sort of anime fan as well, and KG told me to watch Attack on Titan, and I maybe got 3 episodes in, and I've yet to return to that.
Right. So even you don't.
It was, and to be fair, I was getting very frustrated with the kid in it. Yeah. He was very moany. Yeah.
Okay. So there you go. So even Owen's not even fully behind that. Just before we finish off on the fixtures, because there is a lot of people to get their teeth into. If you just joined us, I know it's early, 22 minutes into after the fixtures have been released. So we've obviously got all the fixtures you need to know about going across the bottom of the screen. So make sure you check those out. You mentioned something while we were talking about it, because we had these from like really early this morning. We were talking in the lead up to this while we were sorting everything out for the show. Yeah. And you said, and it's kind of, I wanted to talk about it. You said, it's quite interesting that there isn't loads of clusters of games that are like super, super hard. So someone highlighted the October, but I think apart from that, you missed that out.
I missed a month.
Yeah, I was going to say you missed that out because you were saying that actually
I'm looking at, like for instance, last season, it was like, I forget which order it was, but we were playing like City, Liverpool, and then I think it was like Spurs as well. And you look at it and you go, that is just ridiculous. I was looking at that in terms of proper maybe like top 6 games back to back. And I can only maybe see a couple of times that's the case. Again, like Chelsea and Spurs. We have them back to back twice. Again, I look at the others, and we have City and then Arsenal back to back. That's in January as well. I was looking for those clusters. But realistically, as was pointed out earlier, and I think it's a really good point, is that it's that October period, isn't it? That really could be make or break. If we get out of that, not losing every game or whatever, then you would say that's positive. The thing is with fixtures as well, it's always the games you don't necessarily expect to slip up in as well. They're the ones that really hurt you. They're the ones that hurt you.
But that's what happened when we had that period where it was the infamous Marcel. There's 9 points.
Yeah,
up for grabs,
that's
you know?
what I mean. They're the ones that always. They're the ones that always get you. It's the ones where you expect, and maybe that's why people are saying, "Oh, and you're being too positive about the starting games of the season."
Yeah,
it's those kind of games. And to be fair, last season it was those kind of games that we would slip up in. You know, Brentford, Brighton. You know, or face Southampton,
Wolves.
You know, we didn't beat Southampton away last season. Who's to say we would this season?
100%.
That was early on.
I just can't wait to see how we're playing, what the mood is. And we need to get some players. I'm not deluded.
Yeah.
I know people think I'm being deluded because I've been like, you know, I've got a cut-off point in my head, which I'm not going to share with anyone.
Yeah.
Of when I will start. It will be very evident, by the way, because you guys on social media will go, "Oh, Flex, you've changed your tune. X amount of weeks ago, you were saying."
But there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
But
So I'm just preparing the viewers. Like, I have got a cut-off point which I'm keeping to myself.
Yeah.
For my own sanity, and you will know when I've clicked into gear.
Yeah.
If I'm not happy.
And
Have you got a point?
I'm
not saying share it.
I don't know if I've got a specific cut-off point, but I did say to KG, it was yesterday or the day before, that absolutely, if in, with it today, it's the 16th of June today, a month today we're on tour. I don't know if we've got a game a month today on the 16th of July, but if we're...
Our game was on the 13th of July.
But if we're on tour and we've got nobody, then you would go... That is, you know. And as I've mentioned, and because again, people will say, "Oh, and you're going to change your tune in a couple of weeks' time," and my response to that has always been, I might, because I believe that would be the right time to be really having those conversations. But it's not going to mean that if we get to the end of the window and we sign one, people aren't going to be like, "Well, it was a good window anyway, positive vibes." It's like we'd be like, "No, absolutely, it was not good enough."
100%.
So, and I do think that opinions can change and evolve over time. People can say that's flip-flopping. People can say whatever. I decided early on that I wasn't going to be, you know, or be maybe too, shall we say, hysterical, or give these people the benefit of the doubt in their first full season in their jobs, or first full summer transfer window, shall we say, in their jobs. People like Murto, whatever. Matt Judge leaves at the end of the month. Maybe things will speed up. He's still on conversations.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Could you imagine, end of the month, and it's like July 1st, we've signed 2 people. Matt Judge is gone. That was why. That's a joke, by the way, guys. That's a joke.
Yeah. Jose Sarmento, welcome to the UV Members Club.
There you go.
Big up to you. They're flying in. And Jason Skippers, big up to you. Welcome to the UV Members Club. Check out the welcome video there and get involved in letting us know what you guys want to see on a weekly basis in the exclusive videos. And welcome to the perks. Tish Gang, just before we move on from the Premier League fixtures into Antony, I think that's the next thing on the agenda.
Yes, it is.
I wanted to just touch on Gary Neville because actually Tishbang says it here. Gary Neville is panicking, LOL. I wanted to just go over his tweet quickly actually and see where everyone is kind of at with it. Gary Neville said earlier on today, "I know early in the window, but it's worrying that United are struggling to get business done. The others seem set and ready, yet United can't get moving. Ten Hag needs his group together ASAP to mould them. Bringing them in late will only make it harder for him. Fingers crossed it happens soon." So he's basically saying, you know, fingers crossed it happens soon, i.e. there's time for it to still be okay. And he also says, "I know it's early in the window." So he starts off with them things, but in terms of like a shit sandwich, the middle of it, he is saying it is still worrying at the moment that, you know, a few of our rivals are starting to put some steam ahead. Yeah,
and I do agree with that as well. It's not to say that when we see these other people doing business or being linked to other people, it doesn't make you worry. I'm not sitting here being like, I'm not worried at all, I'm completely relaxed kind of thing. Of course it makes you concerned. Of course it makes you worried. I think, like he said, it is still early in the window. And as I've said before too, of course, the best version of events would be that we'd have at least a signing by now or a couple of signings by now, or we'd have a situation whereby we do get these people in early. And of course, it's a massive summer for Ten Hag, and he's trying to get his ideas, his ideology across. And to get that in with a group of players that's evolving and changing with new people coming in later on in the window, that's not the ideal situation. Clearly, it's best to get them in early. But I think that's fair. Yeah. And again, as I've said before,
it's a fair assessment.
And with the people that are frustrated at the moment, I think that is fair too. I do. I think people just have different thresholds.
100%.
And again, mine give it a couple of weeks maybe.
Yeah. Smash a like on the video, subscribe if you are new. We've touched on the first batch of the Premier League fixtures, so let us know how you're feeling. Let us know how many points you think we'll get out of the first 5. I want to say 6 because the 6th is Arsenal, so just say first 6.
Yeah.
The first 6 games. Let us know how many points you think we're going to get. Are you worried? Are you optimistic? Are you calm? Let us know in the boxes below. Smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Moving on, Antony.
Yes.
There was a little bit on Antony yesterday.
Yeah.
Bring it to us. What we got?
So Mike Verwij, who of course is a prominent journalist based out in Holland, which again is significant considering we're going after an Ajax player, and he's been big all over these sort of big stories involving whether it be Erik ten Hag, Jurrien Timber, and now Antony, has said yesterday that Manchester United are expected to report themselves at Ajax for the signing of Antony. Ten Hag believes he is a fantastic player, but the price tag of Antony is quite high, which might not suit the budget of Manchester United. So once again, we're hearing one of these reports whereby United are interested in the player, they like the player, they have inquired about the player, but the issue, by all accounts, is the price, which might not suit this budget of what's reported to be, 140 million euros, 150 million pounds, something, maybe a bit more, bit less, around that sort of number. So that's the situation when it comes to Antony. Ten Hag likes him, Manchester United like him, but it's the price once again. Now, I suppose, Flex, that is significant because it's from coming out of Holland, which is always, shows there is definitely something there. But once again, I suppose the issue is that it's the same old story, is it not? Is it we're interested, but price, and Ten Hag likes him.
Yeah, and it's things like this that, again,
you can see why people are frustrated.
Yeah.
Because I hear that and I go, that's annoying.
100%. Especially whilst there's no follow-up report, concrete, from many outlets saying bid submitted.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Bid submitted. Obviously, we've in the title bid incoming question mark because we don't know.
Yeah.
But when you the way it reads is funny as well. Man United are expected to report themselves at Ajax.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do what me, KG, and Marcel did, and just take a trip over to the Johan Cruyff Stadium. Said we're here, we're outside, we're live. John Murtag's gonna pull up. You know what I mean?
With his Man United microphone. Where's Antony? Let's go find him.
We've reported ourselves here at Ajax for the signing of Antony. Any take, you know what I mean? This is what we're down. This is what we want to do. It's just weird, isn't it? But, decent source, you could say. But until we start getting across the board, bids gone in.
Yeah.
Again, we're just kind of in the same position. But this is where I do understand completely. This is what has been pissing people off.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. 100% as well. And I think people would look at maybe with the Basuma deal as well. Obviously, the player and the fee is very frustrating there. But also with the Basuma thing is the speed in which that one happened. I mean, has Romano done the Here We Go today, this morning, pretty much, on Basuma?
Yeah. Yesterday, I think he did it.
And then he was first linked to Spurs, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
3 days ago? Yeah. And 3 days later, it's here we go. It's a done deal. It's finished. And then we do have Manchester United, which have these long transfer sagas of, we're interested, there's a bit of a price, we're chatting.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah.
The tough thing is there,
because I think Timber will stay.
Well, the tough thing is there is that when you're thinking about it, you really don't know.
I ain't got a clue,
and that's
mate.
the same. Because
I
I
ain't
was
got a clue, Owen.
I'm asking this question like I have an answer, and my response would have been exactly the same. I couldn't tell you, because a couple of weeks ago, if you'd have said, "Is Jurrien Timber going to be a Man United player at the end of the winter?" You'd have said, "Well, I think so."
Yeah,
that's not happening.
Yeah. If you'd asked me Frankie de Jong, would I think?
A couple of days ago would have been, a couple of weeks ago it would have been, I don't think so. A couple of weeks later it would have been, it looks like he wants to join the club now. Today it's like, I have no idea.
You could have asked me about Kante a few weeks ago and I could have said, actually, you all after me the first time.
Here we go.
Then now, what?
I know where you're going.
No, I'm just saying, because then there were links, there was a point where it was actually like, Man United actually really interested.
Was there though? Yeah. Was there real links?
I wanted to hear
Was there real links?
No, but I wanted to, get behind that. Because sometimes transfers, and that's the thing about transfers that is quite funny, yeah, which you lot all have to admit. It depends how you want to enjoy it. I say enjoy, we can't really use that word. It depends how you want to experience your transfer, what you want your transfer experience to look like, your transfer journey. Because sometimes, if there's things that you kind of want to hear, you kind of get behind it a little bit. And every rumour that's about it, you're like, see, yeah, we're in for it. Yeah, that can happen. Yeah. But if it's a player you don't really want, or a player you haven't really heard of, or a player you don't care for, you kind of switch off quite early and hope it goes away. Do you get that? Like, there's certain ones where you're like, oh, I like him. Come on, let's hear more of that. Let me search a bit more of that. I want to get involved in that. I'm here for that.
I don't know. I'm almost.
Or you just.
It really does depend on the source, to be honest. Because again, so those Kante ones, I'd see. I'm like,
who's saying it?
I'm like, that's, that's why when we were having those conversations before, weren't we? We were going, and they led to quite a lot of debate. But at the end of it, we always came to, why are we talking about this?
Yeah,
because it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Red Baron says, thanks for the super chat. He says, it's enjoyable watching you two starting to crack day by day. Oh, while KG is in the dark room smiling and saying, welcome to the dark side, boys. Yeah, because KG's been in there since the start.
Oh, yeah. And again, like, opinions absolutely will, let's face it, at this rate probably will change.
Told you lot. I got my cut-off point.
Yeah. I haven't thought about that. I might need to give myself one.
Yeah, I've got my cut-off point, mate. Yeah, you will know when it's activated.
Okay.
But you don't know. I'm not going to tell you when it is.
Yeah.
But you will know.
Ooh.
I'm just going to rock up and you will go, it's kicked in.
Yeah.
Because you can't live completely under a rock.
You know what you should do? Next time we're in the studio and we're on a stream, you should bring in a piece of paper. You should write the date down. You should put it in an envelope, seal it, and it's just there.
All right.
And then during one of the streams, I don't know what day it will be. You'll open it up and you'll just go, and then it'll reveal that that's the date.
All right.
That's your cut-off point.
Shalil, thanks for the super chat. Shalil says, guys, I'm looking forward to Eric Ten Hag ball. Hopefully players buy into the plan. City just put in a bid for Marco Correa. Interested FC, monitoring FC.
He's a good player.
He's a very good player.
Yeah.
And you know what? Again, when he goes there, because he will, if City put in a bid for him, Brighton are getting raided this summer. It seems like with Basuma on his way out as well.
Good. We've got him first game of the season.
Yeah.
Good. Weaken them.
Yeah. But him going there, but what does that look like for City, though? It's a bit off topic, but, you still got Walker right back and Cancelo left back. Correa's not going to start all the time. Unless something...
It's one of those...
Just makes him just even stronger.
Yeah, but again, that's in comparison to, say, us. You can't compare yourself to Man City, but it just goes to show the different situations. When they're bringing players in, it's just to... we're improving the squad, and sometimes it's like they used to say about United under Fergie, in the sense of sometimes we didn't need to buy people, we just did it just to shake things up.
Yeah.
Just because people, the way you get complacent and comfortable is not having someone come in and suddenly like, oh, we're chasing you for your place now.
Yeah.
They said sometimes you would just sign people of just a case of it's always good. There's always good to have at least one per summer that you go, oh,
yeah,
I've got to keep my game up here.
Yeah.
Because they're going to come in, they're going to be quality. Whereas United, at the moment, we're constantly looking for people to bring in just to make us first team better. Not just like, okay, we're trying to build up the squad a little bit. No, we need to change a lot of our positions. Then, yeah, that's the situation for United.
There's a poll up saying, are you worried about United's opening fixtures? Just quickly to let you guys know, so go and vote on that. I'm quite surprised, actually.
Close.
It's closer than I thought.
Yeah.
It's the outcome I thought, but 54% of you are saying yes, you are, and 46% of you are saying no, you're not concerned. I thought that would have been like 70-30 or something like that in favour of yes.
It's interesting.
But yeah, you always get a feel. That's why I like doing polls.
And it's always interesting because a couple of the things recently, so like with that, are you worried about the opening fixtures, or are you concerned about Manchester United's transfer window so far, or the pace of it? A lot of it's quite close, isn't it? A lot of it's like 45-55, 50-50, 53-47. So it does go to show that there is this sort of quite contrasting opinions on both sides.
It's not unanimous all the time.
Yeah, at the moment, yeah.
It's not unanimous. Smash a like on the video, guys. Subscribe if you're new. We've touched on the fixtures. We've touched on an incoming big for Antony. Basically, we've said... probably not till we actually see something properly, then let us know. But that was a little bit of news on that. Yesterday, and again, it's funny how things change. Let's move on to Dean Henderson.
Yes.
Literally yesterday, where we were discussing what it would look like if he went to Bournemouth, but now there's something else.
Yes, so yesterday, to give him his flowers, it was Fabrizio Romano was first to report this, saying that Dean Henderson was in talks with Nottingham Forest about a potential loan move with an option to buy. The option to buy was reported to around £20 million. Again, this has been now widely reported by multiple outlets, such as Simon Stone from the BBC, etc., saying that Dean Henderson is in talks with Nottingham Forest about a loan move from Manchester United. Now, what is interesting about this one, Flex, is that as you mentioned, yesterday we were saying that obviously the Newcastle move fell through for Dean Henderson. And what kind of move was he going to be looking at for a Premier League club? Because from his perspective, he would have said, wow, I did have a season with Sheffield United in the Premier League. We did well. I was then at Manchester United. I came into the side later on at the end of the season, a couple of seasons ago. Maybe it didn't completely work out, but a drop down to a newly promoted side is a bit of a drop off. But I do need to be playing football. So we kind of not necessarily ruled out Bournemouth, because I think we came to the conclusion of where else is he going to go, actually. And Nottingham Forest was an interesting one, but I believe they have just lost their goalkeeper as well. Their goalkeeper that was doing the penalty shootout heroics isn't going to sign a new contract. So I would say Henderson's probably an upgrade on that. But a loan to buy, once I heard the £20 million, I sort of went, can we have that now? Can we do that now? What do you think of that one?
Yeah, it's weird because the Bournemouth thing was like, we're not guaranteed staying in the league, and look at how they play. Similar to Forest, even more so. They haven't been in the Premier League for a long time. Bournemouth got more recent history of being in the Premier League and doing quite well under Eddie Howe for a good few seasons.
A big club, Forest. Massive
club. But Forest, big club that you could argue there's more scope in that, but that's just because of the history of them being a big club. Recent history wouldn't suggest that, because they've been in the Premier League since God knows when. And Bournemouth have and have proved that they can stay up as well. Bournemouth, they stayed in it a few years, didn't they? Quite a few years with Eddie Howe before obviously getting relegated. So I'll be honest with you, this is going to sound maybe a bit rude, but I don't really care where he goes, you know. Like you said, I just want the money. I know that sounds, but like, he's not going to be our number one anytime soon. I think when it is time to change the keeper, I think we just go in a different direction to David De Gea and Dean Henderson and get a whole different type of profile. Things can change, you know. Again, we always go back to that, what if Ten Hag wants him, or what if Ten Hag wants this? If Ten Hag makes the call and says, I probably won't have De Gea in a year's time, he's getting phased out of the Spanish national team, which he has been for a while. I'm going to see how he goes for a year, see if he can adapt to my playing style. I'm definitely going to keep him as number one this year. I think we know that, clearly. But if the whole thing with his feet becomes a problem, which we anticipate it probably will in the second phase of our evolution, because we're not there yet. We don't have to worry about, me personally, I don't think we have to worry about David De Gea's distribution yet. We have to get this first year out of the way and fix a load of things. If we get to the end of that year, and Ten Hag already has said, I know it's not going to be Henderson, I know it's not going to be De Gea, I'll go in a different direction, then sell him. I'm fine with that. If Ten Hag says, going to give it to De Gea, but I don't want to get rid of Henderson yet.
I was going to say maybe he's had that conversation, I don't know, with Henderson or with people close to Henderson of like, you know, I am willing to give him a look. I'm telling you now, De Gea is going to be my number one this season. Obviously, there's a World Cup coming up. You just need to play. I don't, like we were saying yesterday, I'm not sure if him going to Forest means he's going to be the England number one, even if he has a great half of the season, you know, and I think that would probably be his concern, because I do think, as we said yesterday, that if he went to Newcastle, and that move's not happening because Newcastle reportedly aren't interested, but if he did go to Newcastle and he had a strong first half of the season,
it makes it easier,
he could have been the England number one. I don't think that position's locked down at all. But, you know, Forest, they play quite progressive stuff, playing out from the back as well. And maybe Ten Hag will keep an eye out for that. Maybe he'll say, actually, that is what I'm looking for in the goalkeeper. Maybe that will change things. So, ultimately, like you said, not that we don't care, but given the situation of the transfers at the moment, you would rather that, you know, that 20 million came in, you're like, okay, maybe that will spur things on a little bit. Maybe that will.
Because we know we need the sales. And when we think of like valuable assets that we can actually sell, that can give us meaningful budget towards more players, think about it. It's only Martial, Wan-Bissaka and Henderson. That we can actually sell. I mean, we're not going to sell Rashford. We're not going to sell Shaw. I think Tellez still stays.
Do you think the Henderson issue there maybe is because, of course, he signed that 5-year contract, big wages again?
It's crazy, man.
How many Premier League clubs are looking at that going...
Give him over 100 grand a week or whatever he's on. That's what I mean.
That's probably the major stumbling block.
And that, look...
Because Forest aren't paying all that either. No way. So we're still going to be paying part of his wages.
And because we set it at 100, we might have to cover, I don't know. Sorry, big stretch here. Big stretch here.
It's the adrenaline dump after the fixtures.
Yeah, 100%. When you're like, oh, fucking hell. They are quite hard, aren't they? because we've set it so high, we might have to still pay best part of 40, 50, 60 grand a week.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? For a player who isn't even here.
Yeah.
And you don't want to, you want to, like, I know you spoke a lot about trying to give these guys the benefit of the doubt, new guys in the job, but we are still very much operating under the failings of the last setup. And we still have to reap what you sow from that.
Yeah, I was saying this.
Hence we're stuck with Martial. Hence we're stuck with Wan-Bissaka. Hence with Maguire's no chance of going anywhere, 85 million. Hence Dean Henderson still. Do you know what I mean? Tuanzebe. Hence we still haven't really got a suit. I saw something for Andreas Pereira saying they turned down the deal for Flamengo, claiming they've got something higher.
Yeah.
But we're still living on, hence Eric Bailly's still there because we gave him a deal. Phil Jones. We're still living off the shitness from before, the shit decisions. And it's going to take a while to gut them out.
Yeah,
if we're serious.
It is going to take time to do that as well. And I think also that what you're looking at from a financial point of view as well is that, so you're coming off a season that whilst we finished second the season before last, it was an empty arena season. So there was a huge drop-off in revenue during that period of time. That's followed up by our worst season ever in the Premier League. So you think about the finances involved in that one, plus the share price is down, like, was it 41% or something, then these people, these bankers that do run the club, or the Glazers or whatever, you don't think they're not noticing that. They're going, we're not going to spend that much money then. You know, because they'll be thinking, oh, we've taken a big hit at the moment. And that's not me justifying it. That's my concern, is that that's going to be their kind of thought process at the moment of, last 2 years have been quite tight, actually.
Yeah.
So we might have to pull back a little bit this year at the time which we need it the most.
Yeah.
That is a massive concern.
We need it. We do. And that's, so, you know, back to the Henderson thing.
We need it.
We
need
if
it.
it's permanent, I don't care where he plays. As long as I can get between 20 and 30 million for him, I don't mind. And I don't even have anything against Henderson. I don't think he's better than David De Gea. So I still think David De Gea should be number one over him. But I do think he's a decent keeper. I do think he's good. If things were different, we might, and we didn't have a David De Gea, who to me is a guaranteed shot stopper, guaranteed 100%. It could have been different for Henderson, and he did okay. He did okay. It's not like he's come in and been absolutely horrendous, but because he's in such a rush to be it, and I get it, fine, no problem. We take the money.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Stephen M, latest member of the UV Members Club. Big up to Stephen M. Welcome, bro. Thank you for joining the Members Club. If you want to join the Members Club, it's in the tab in the video description. I think you can see it there. It just says join. I don't know what it looks like for you guys, but I think it says just join. Yeah. Hit the join tab, and you can join if you want to do that. We've got 1,500 people watching, and only 283 likes. We haven't had to. You guys have been pretty good in the last few days. We haven't had to have a visit from Mickey. Yeah. From Mick Phelan. We haven't had to cut to it yet. So can we please, you know, we always like to try and get to 500 while we're live. 500 likes at least.
And you also, as well, if you remember, you can use the Mike Phelan emoji. You can fill that up. You can fill that up in the chat.
Yeah. Who's going to choose that as their emoji?
There you go. There you go.
Oh, there it is. Members Club are putting in the Mike Phelan emojis because they don't want him to appear.
Exactly.
So there you go.
That's how you fight him off.
Yeah, members.
To prevent him coming, you have to show him his face. Have to show, it's like Dracula. You have to show him.
Was it the mirror?
Yeah, he doesn't appear though, does he? No. I don't know how it works.
There you go, Kristen. Oh, there you go, Stephen M. There you go. Ivan, thank you for the super chat. Ivan says, scenes when Dion goes to City. Don't. Honestly, don't. And I want to touch a little bit on Timber. Yeah. Being now unlikely.
Yes, once again, coming from Mike Verwij out there in Holland, is saying that Jurrien Timber's decision tends more and more to staying. He will now go on holiday where he can think about his future more, but the chances of him staying in Amsterdam are now pretty big. Now, this does lead into those reports that were saying previously that he was having doubts about joining Manchester United. Of course, his biggest concern was the World Cup coming up at the end of the year. He's seen how other people, former teammates, and Donny van der Beek have had their situations handled at Manchester United in the past. He's not interested in basically coming to Manchester United, sitting on the bench for a while he adapts and not playing, and then missing out on the World Cup because of that. Now, Louis van Gaal was asked in a couple of his press conferences about maybe Timber's doubts and about his concerns that going to United might prevent him from getting in the World Cup squad. And Van Gaal said he's very wise. And I saw that, I went, Louis. Although I must say, over the course of like the last couple of weeks, there have been so many clips of Louis van Gaal on Twitter doing press conferences and interviews. He's still box office, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh,
He is. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. I love the fact that he embraces his character. He hasn't changed.
Yeah, like nothing.
And he's had obviously that battle with cancer that he just
100%.
had. He's come out the other end of that, which is amazing.
He does not give two Fs
No,
at all as well. When they said, "Oh, so you excited about with this Nations League about finishing top of the group or whatever?" And he went, "No, because I'm not going to be in charge when it comes." So what a stupid question that is. Or someone said to him, "One more question." He went, "No, you said 2 more questions." That's 3 now. No, I'm not answering it. Yeah. Brilliant.
He's funny. He's a proper character.
But yes, going back to the Timber thing.
Yeah.
I mean, this was 95% done 3 or 4 weeks ago. Now he's staying at Ajax. And again, I do look at that and I'm frustrated with that. He was meant to be our first signing.
It looked like something that could really get done. And again,
and this is a player that Ten Hag was with last season. We're talking about Frankie de Jong going. He played with him a couple of years ago. Ten Hag might be able to convince him. He was with him all of last season. He was with him just a few weeks ago.
Well, he's in the Antony situation, and he's in where now Antony has moved forward in terms of being more likely than Timber. Where you would think it would probably be Timber more likely. I don't know.
I mean, Ten Hag did the interview as well. Don't take Timber with you. He laughed as if say, too late. It wasn't. It wasn't too late. He's going to stay, and it's just.
Yeah.
Now, this, again, we're talking about deadlines with players or whatever. If you're not hearing anything about this is when you just cut loose, go, no, okay, fine.
Yeah.
I don't have time for those doubts. We need to move on. Find a different target.
100%. What Anthony Barnett says, I need whatever medication Flex Glazer is doing to see the Timber situation and still be relaxed. That's from Anthony Barnett. Big up, Anthony. My second name isn't Glazer, though.
Is it not?
Nah, it's not. My second name is, and I'm not going to say
it. Yeah, it's actually Flex Flexington.
Yeah, according to Joshua Flex Flexington.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anthony. Basically, he thinks that I'm being way too calm at the fact that Timber's not going to be here anymore. It's not even that. It's not that I'm like, no problem, don't need him. That's not what I'm saying. That hasn't come out of my word once. So thanks for bringing it to our attention. I agree with anyone saying, well, like they say, MSAR says, done with Timber. If that's the case and he wants to stay because he's not sure about, we've got to move on. We've got to move on. I think, especially because he's got a new, it's a bit different to the Frankie de Jong situation where we know Barcelona still are, in quotes, they're in a terminal financial situation. Laporta was saying that just a couple of days ago. There has been some reports that I've seen that are saying that they've got this plan to get out of it and they may not actually need to sell all these players. I don't know how true that is. The main crust of what I'm seeing from the research I've been doing by myself, no sources, I still see them in a bad position. But they seem to have struck a deal with Jules Koundé as well. They want Aspilicueta as well. Like they're trying to do stuff. So they want Lewandowski. They want Christensen.
Bernardo Silva.
But they were
doing this last summer as well, it must be said as well. These people were leaving. Griezmann and Messi was leaving last summer, but they were still signing Aguero. They were still going after these players. So it just feels like with Barcelona, isn't it? It's constantly like this weird sort of financial arithmetic going on that from the outside looking in, you go, makes no sense. You're going, how on earth are you going to make that work? And then what it comes to at the end is they go, the entire squad's got to take another pay cut to fit this in and this, that, and the other. It's just like, man, imagine being a Barcelona fan at the moment. You'd be thinking every day you're not sure if your club's going to exist.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot going on there, and I think that's why I think with the Timber situation, he's very settled. He's got a new deal on the table at Ajax if he stays. Can sign him for terms. He's only 19. World Cup's coming up. There's no rush. With Frankie de Jong, he could actually get forced out.
Yeah.
Like, I know the interview whenever it was 2 days ago when he was like, I'm at the biggest club in the world. I'm happy here. We know that. But still, it all changed. Well, we know a bid's even gone in for that, and we're looking at second bid.
Yeah.
Apparently gone in. And he's being told, we have to sell you. Messi didn't want to go. The greatest player ever. Depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
Greatest player ever. In tears, had to leave. So anyone can get it at Barca. If Messi can go because they can't afford to keep him, Frankie de Jong can. And I know some people was like, I don't care, stop Frankie de Jong. He doesn't want to come. Let's move on. But like you said, you can clearly see it's a big, big deal to Erik ten Hag. Yeah,
you can clearly see that's a big deal, but we can only maybe have that with one player.
Yeah, you can't. Agreed. I do agree with that.
Yeah, you can't have that with every single. We can't have 4 or 5 sagas going on. It needs to just be, okay, Timber, like I said, doesn't want to come, done. Move on, someone else. The hope would be is that we do have targets that we're looking at. If we put all of our eggs in that Timber basket, then, shame on you, basically, because you assumed that was going to be fine, and it wasn't. So now we've got to move on. Whether that's Pau Torres, which, again, I don't know how likely that is, because by all accounts, he's very content to be where he is. Whether that's we were linked to Bastoni, but again, I would assume that if Bastoni is going to go anywhere, it would probably be Spurs. Spurs are interested in him. Again, it's the Conte link. So, I think we were linked to Carmo from Braga. Maybe that's one we do, but...
Just really quickly, there's some quotes coming out from Paul Pogba on The Athletic that are coming out this last sort of 15 minutes or so. I think it's quite interesting. He says, Paul Pogba, it says it's from The Athletic, so I hope this is true. Paul Pogba, how can you tell a player you absolutely want him and offer him nothing? Never seen that. And then Paul Pogba says, my thought process is to show Manchester United that they made a mistake in waiting to give me a contract, and to show other clubs that Manchester United had made a mistake in not offering me a contract. Is this...
Well, if this was accurate, what I would assume he is referring to is that did he want a contract in like 2019?
Yeah, they didn't give it to him.
And I think United pulled back on it. But to say that United didn't offer him a contract is not completely accurate, because by all accounts, wasn't there a contract on the table from last summer?
Yeah, that was unsigned and he didn't like it or something like that.
So I'm just, look.
That's very interesting.
I'm done with the Pogba drama, to be honest. Like I said, I think it speaks volumes about him that he is no one's doubting his ability as a player, but it speaks volumes about him that he left on a free transfer this summer. And I would probably speculate.
Documentary, that's why.
I'd probably speculate that the majority of the Man United fans could care less that he went on a free transfer. That speaks volumes.
Yeah.
I
was thinking in this Pogmentary thing, what's going to be in it, because I was thinking it's been made quite recently, or obviously recently. Like you said, the Paul Pogba saga's ended now, so I couldn't give a shit. Like I'm just glad it's ended on both parties and we can actually move on. But we do need to brace ourselves. Well, I say brace ourselves because, like you said, if we have this mentality that he's not our player anymore, so what? Say what you want to say. But there is going to be a big media storm, because basically I'm seeing the picture of him on a boat, which must be from the documentary. And it says, how can you tell a player you absolutely wanted him and offer him nothing? He says, clearly affronted. The Pogmentary lays bare the stagnation and disintegration of Paul Pogba's loveless, miserable relationship with Man United. So it sounds like he's going to now speak.
Now he's going to go in.
And he's going to go in. And it's just going to reaffirm why he had to leave and we had to move on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to turn on Paul Pogba and say, you're this, you're that. This is how the man feels. But whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
It just doesn't bother me.
No,
you're going to say what you're going to say. It's about time you said something. When it was Mino Raiola and him, he wouldn't say this, but his agent would speak. And now he's going to go to Juventus.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised when you see the words loveless, miserable relationship, and disintegration. We knew that.
And also as well,
but let's move on. He's not our player anymore. He's actually not our player anymore.
Exactly, he's not our player anymore. And also, again, look at the way his Man United career ended. He limped off at Anfield after like 7 minutes,
giving up. Yeah,
and
he'd had it for a long time.
And again, I agree with what you've said in the past. I do think some of the perception of him has been wrong, and I do
100%.
think some of the headlines about him have been wrong.
100%.
But I would also say that it takes two to tango, because in several instances he knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
He is a media savvy animal when it comes to some of the things he puts on, say, social media or whatever. When you're rehabbing with a calf injury, which people kind of doubted anyway, to then put a video out of you sort of dancing or whatever, people can say, he's just enjoying himself. And I'm sure he is. But he knows the reaction that will get.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's like, I could care less what people think. And I know the reaction it's going to get. And again, if you want to look at just stuff just completely on the pitch as well.
That's the main thing.
What did he do?
Nothing.
What did he do?
I mean, like, did he do enough? You
Yeah.
can say the team weren't fixed and he needs this, and the Pogba fanboys who, no matter what Pogba does, on the pitch or off the pitch, the off the pitch stuff, I've spoke about that a lot. I'm not really fast. Like you said, that's how he is. Got no problem with that. It's on the pitch. If I'm seeing you cheating, or I'm seeing you not really giving it, or
like people talk about his best moment in the United shirt was like when he came in the derby, when he came back and we won 3-2 at the Etihad or whatever. That's great, but that season we finished second, we won nothing.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
it means it's a great moment.
Yeah,
but that's all it is.
It was just to stop City winning.
But and they did win it in the end.
They won it the next game.
So I remember when people talk about with Arsenal, Jack Wilshere, they played Barcelona at home, they go, he played really well. They got knocked out that leg.
Yeah.
Because they went to Nou Camp and they lost.
Yeah.
So what does it mean?
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't in
It's
the
just
grand scheme.
one moment.
It's a moment, but it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
And that's kind of maybe what you could sum up Pogba's time at Man United. There are moments, but what did they mean?
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, they didn't mean all that much.
Duncan Edwards says Pogba in 6 years had 10 good games at best. Pogba has gone. Toxicity wouldn't let go. We need to find our own Jed Spence, says Ocha at 89. And Stylo says Pogba still chatting. Tut. And that's what I mean. Kristen Moore, member as well, says Pogba's situation is dead and buried. And it is. But you just know in this documentary tomorrow we're going to get a whole bunch of quotes of stuff. And actually, do you know what? I think as Man United fans, what we should actually do is not even fan the fumes on. So don't even give it the interaction. Don't even give it the whole, how dare he say this, get out. He's gone. Like, let's just move on. Let's put all our energy, even though it's not quite positive right now because we want signings and stuff. Let's at least look forward. That's where I'm at. Tomorrow, I will watch it to see, but I'm not going to be, getting too angry about what he says and stuff because we know behind the scenes there's been stuff going on for ages and he's just kept quiet. Now he's a free agent.
Do you think in this documentary he's going to announce his new club and all that kind of thing as well?
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
Because I left United and now I'm going to Juventus and then suddenly it gets announced. He signed the contract. He's going to Juventus.
Maybe something like that. That's quite Paul Pogba-ish, isn't it? But anyway, guys, smash a like on the video. Wicked show. Loads to get ourselves into. If you just joined us near the end, we covered the fixtures. We spoke about an incoming Antony bid. We spoke about Dean Henderson potentially on the way out and what that looks like. We spoke about Jurrien Timber being a doubt. We spoke a little bit about, obviously, Paul Pogba towards the end there. So let us know in the comments below what you think about the opening fixtures. It's always a big day when that happens, especially when they're so far away, though, as well. It's like hard to judge, but it's a good talking point. Super chat here just on our way out. Dylan Supp says, I'm glad Pogba is gone, but since he came back to United, nobody in the Prem has more assists than him. So with a better team, he could have done more. Absolutely, with a better team. Is that a stat? Nobody's got more assists than Paul Pogba.
Again, you look. This is why it's funny to look back on the opening game of last season, isn't it? Because how did he get 4 assists? There was one game. There was a picture of him and Bruno with the hat trick ball. When everyone was going, these two playing together this season, they're going to be ready. God, how wrong were we?
Doesn't matter.
How wrong were we?
They don't mean anything. And also remember today at 6 p.m. you are going to get your dose of Flex and KG. Okay, the Flex and KG show is live tonight at 6 p.m. So make sure you guys tune into that. Obviously, I couldn't do it on Tuesday, couldn't do it yesterday, so it will be tonight for the people asking as well. Remember, you can join the UV Members Club as well by hitting the join button. And there are last few tickets left for our 100k subscriber party on Sunday. See you soon, 6 p.m. We're out of here. Peace.